So things that are cheap and you should always have in the kitchen: pasta, obviously, rice, canned beans. Garbanzo beans I really like. They're really the only ones I use. That's terrible. Dried beans if I'm gonna make chilies and things like that. Cuts of meat that are always affordable when you're super broke: chicken legs, ground meat. The stuff in the clearance section, actually, if it's a day from going bad, take it home, clean it, put it in a bag, freeze it. You have suspended its animation, and you have more time. You bought yourself time. You know, canned fish. You can make really nice patties out of those. If you don't like that fishy taste, I know one of my daughters does not. We tried out and created sort of this crab cake recipe with fake crab before she left for school, and that worked out pretty well for us. It's pretty cheap, makes a lot. You can add like 3 shrimp in there to give it like even a more fish taste, or like a more, you know, a little more decadent. You should always have dried spices. You should always have garlic. You should always have, even if it's jarred garlic, because it lasts a long time, won't go bad on you, keep it in your fridge. Onions. I always like to buy a big piece of ginger, and of course I was out of town, so it started to grow. But you can make, like, you know, noodle, lots of Asian dishes. Rice, we always have rice. I think I said that. I like to buy like paste, like curry paste and different things from the Asian market, because those add a lot of flavor, a lot of umami. They can stay in your refrigerator for a long time, and they go a long way. You can always have dried frozen dumplings. We always have frozen dumplings, and we make wonton soup out of the frozen dumplings. So there's ways to kind of make your money go a little further. I like to have the bouillons around. If I have a little bit more money, I get canned stock. When I use a chicken, I save the bones. If I take it off the bone, I save that bone. I make a stock with it. I cook things with it. If I make a ham, I take a ham bone. Things like that. You can make your meals go a little further. You can buy a ham steak. You can use that to put in beans. It always has a little tiny bone in there. So you can make things go a little further like that. Roast chickens, I can make 3 meals out of roast chicken. You can do quesadillas. You can do soup with the bones. You can do soup with the meat that's left on the bones. You can do a breast and shred it and make pizza. There are different things you can do to really stretch that. One chicken ranges in price, a roasted chicken, pre-roasted, $5 to $8. So do those things. But today, because both of my daughters moved to the East Coast, one moved to the Midwest, but it gets cold. She moved to Chicago, people. And then I have another one that moved to DC. It gets cold. They're gonna miss California. They're gonna miss things like going out, throwing something on the grill, because you can't do that in a dorm. And well, my other daughter doesn't really have a patio in her apartment either. So you wanna have barbecue ribs. You're gonna miss that. So I also took a cheap cut of pork. This is a pork butt, bone-in, country rib. It is not really a rib, does not come from the rib of the pig, but you can make it taste just as good. It is actually pork butt, and it's sliced, it's a roast. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna season this up. I'm gonna put, like I would put on a rub, not all my rub spices, because you're gonna see I'm gonna put it in my skillet to kind of brown it off before I pop it in a low oven. Cook that sucker for a couple of hours. Cook those for about 3 hours. Put your favorite sauce on there. We know what yours is, Lilith. And go from there. They served in the wintertime with some potato salad and a piece of corn on the cob. You will not miss summer as much as you will. It will give you a little taste of summer, of what's to come, and it'll help you make sure you enjoy those summer days just a little bit more when it comes around. So let me grab something out of here. No, you know what? Today I'm gonna be a little fancy, and it's not something you have around, but if you can get them on sale, you know I like to buy those pastes. Those herb paste. So I have jalapeno. I'm gonna pull that out. I've been using it more lately. Feel a little, you know, a little fancy, a little something spicy. So if you have these, if you can get these cheap, go for it. If not, I find that ethnic markets have a lot of produce, and it's a way to get some fresh produce into your diet and fresh herbs really, really cheap. I do not like to buy basil from the regular grocery store because I'm paying through the nose. And well, this one is actually basil. I have a jalapeno one I'll get later. But let's start with this. So I'm gonna use this Creole seasoning. You can use red salt here, girls. If you're gonna use red salt, you're gonna use red salt. You're gonna use sugar, almost in equal parts. You're gonna use black pepper. You can add other things in there. You can add cumin if you want it to be smoky. If you really want it to taste like it came off the grill, now it's not gonna taste just like charcoal, but you can use liquid smoke. And so I'll show you how to incorporate that in there. So if you want to use liquid smoke, let me show you how to do it. I'm gonna grab a bowl from over here. Better when I do mise en place, but I do not. Rinse this bowl out. Show you how to do this. So I'm gonna take a little bowl because liquid smoke is obviously liquid. And I'm gonna make it into a paste for myself. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take some of this Cajun salt. And I'm gonna just dump it in there. Let me get it to the dump hole there. Just gonna dump some of that in there because I've got 4 good sized ribs here. I'm just gonna get some Cajun. That might be a little, that's enough because I'm giving it to their brother who doesn't like spicy things. I'm gonna use garlic because I like it on absolutely everything. And I'm gonna use powdered garlic. Sorry, sometimes it gets a little damp. We live by the beach. My girls are gonna miss that. One of them's living right on the water though in Chicago. It's not too far away. I'm not gonna add the black pepper because he would probably fuss at me. I do have this spice I found, and you guys probably don't have it there, but you might have something similar. And if you don't, if you have syrup, you can use syrup. I'm not gonna put this on before I put it in the skillet because the sugar will burn. But it is literally maple bourbon flavored sugar. You can use bacon fat to brown these. I don't have bacon fat because I don't do bacon, you know that. Here we go. Little bit. I'm gonna use the cap, and I'm gonna use half of the cap because you don't want to taste super artificial, and this stuff can taste artificial, but you don't want to get the cheap one either. This is concentrated. This is the real deal. They have an artificial one, and it tastes super artificial. You don't want to do that. So we're gonna mix those up, kind of spread that smoke out a little bit, and mix that garlic with those Cajun spices, and then I'm just gonna put this on there just like a rub. But I'm gonna do again, sort of. It's not a braise. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna make something that we call it a dry braise because I'm gonna give it a little color before I put it in the oven. This is gonna go on a flat pan, cookie sheet. Okay, so now you've got that. Those two are mixed. And I'm just gonna sprinkle it on all sides. My meat again, once again, already clean because I don't play. You don't know if it was sitting on the floor, in the butcher, whatever. I know people say, oh, you're gonna cook it off. That's your business. Do you, but don't come for me because I clean my meat. And I clean my kitchen. I disinfect with hospital grade disinfectant. Don't ask me how I got it in the middle of the pandemic. That's my business too. Okay, you're gonna season this pretty liberally, right? I'm rubbing this first part on. The rest of it I'm gonna actually shake on. So let me use my other hand to get it over here next to me because it is going on. Because I need a lot of seasoning. Because these are big, meaty ribs. They're a couple of inches thick, as you can see. Look at that. I don't do a lot of pork. But these were cheap. Once again, got students in college, just started my Christmas shopping, so saving my money, you know, for retirement. So I don't spend a lot of money on food that I'm cooking at home, but I do splurge on going out to eat because I love food. Okay. Yeah. All right. I just want to say that next week I'm making for the girls this turkey meatball curry that I used to make for them when they were growing up. It's cheap. Turkey right now is on sale for like $2.99 a packet. I think I paid. I hope I didn't pay a pound because I just bought it. It may have been a pound, but I think it was a package. And I bought it at Smart and Final. Super expensive for the other one, like $11. So I bought their brand. I don't care that it had a little bit more fat. It was $85.15. But I make a curry meatball that I do with coconut milk and sweet potatoes. It can also be made vegan or vegetarian because I know that there's probably some vegan or vegetarians. This is literally the second week that I've made a meat dish. But you can make this dish that I'm making next week vegan or vegetarian. It literally is a recipe that my daughter likes to make, but the other one doesn't know how to make it. And I've never shown the other daughter how to make it versatile and add meat and take things away. But if you want to make it with next week, you can use tofu, and then you don't have to use meat. But please brown it first, people. Don't just use, unless you like silken, that's your business, but I don't. Okay, so that's on there. The Cajun season. I'm gonna add a little bit more garlic. A little bit. That's a lie. I'm gonna add a lot bit more. See? May as well use it up. Turn it around. My skillet is getting hot. I can actually feel the heat coming off of it. I'm using a cast iron. If you don't have cast iron, you can use anodized aluminum. Please, again, though, if you're going to use non-stick, I asked you not to last week, but if you're going to use non-stick, please remember that you don't want to turn it up as high to brown it, because, again, the stuff that they put on there, the Teflon, you don't want it to get super high. It's not supposed to get super high. Okay? And most people buy those things, look at the directions, and then toss them out and forget that you should not be using Teflon super high. Okay, so this is, this skillet is hot. The oil is shimmering. There's a little smoke for you. I'll turn the fan on because I'm about to put this Cajun seasoning in there, and it can be spicy, and it will turn into napalm. Listen. A little ASMR, is that what y'all call it? Okay, there's one. I'm gonna turn it up a little higher. And then there's two. They won't all fit at once, and that's okay. So I'm gonna take them off, set them on here, cook the other ones, and then we'll go from there. Be right back.